Hello again, Struck. Welcome back to another day of streaming or night, depending on where you are from. And again, I seem to be having some trouble with getting this game capture to work. Just give me a moment. Let's try like this, and there we go. Now it's fine. So yeah, back into the game. Torchlight Frontiers will be the game today, and it will be a short stream, maybe like two and some hours. I was a bit busy with editing and recording and testing stuff for a Borderlands video, but yeah, I'm gonna start maybe let's start with the mage this time, because it's already selected. So yeah, why not? I'm gonna do a bit of mage play, and then maybe switch to Forge to Realm Master, and then to the third one, as I normally do. And as I normally say, viewers are welcome to join me. So if anyone wants to play together, do let me know. Let's see. How's my cash going with this character? Got enough. Seems like I've been doing poison setup. And let me just quickly check my defenses. I guess the last map I did was Goblin. I'm gonna go quickly to my fort to get rid of some of the wood I've picked up. So yeah, I have some blue gear I wanna get rid of, and maybe all those white items as well. Let's sell this. This is probably nice for a Netherrealm setup. And I think I was collecting a Netherrealm setup just to see what I can do with one. Which was gonna be the Netherrealm setup? Maybe this one. Or maybe that one here might be the Netherrealm setup. So I'm just gonna put it here. Now, since I wanted to farm more goblin stuff, I'm gonna go and do some goblin maps. So first map loading in. Can this reach? Oh, this can reach over there. Nice. Map did I get fire resistant? As you can see, it's on difficult, it's not on ridiculous. Just so things can be quicker and we won't be losing any money. Less risk of dying that way and less risk of losing money as a result of that. The wood is still gonna be the same. Hopefully we get some new stuff that I really need this time. And by the way, for those of you who are fans of the genre, Grim Dawn just released its biggest content update, free content update ever, with huge changes to itemization, like 6,000 database changes I think were done, which is a lot. So yeah, Grim Dawn rebalanced some of the green and blue items, along with rebalancing some other stuff. And added some new content for players, so those of you who may not have access to this game, Grim Dawn is a good suggestion on my end. Another game that recently released updates is Wosen. I'm kind of wondering if I should go back to Wosen, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to find time to play Wosen soon. Maybe next week I can try and play some Wosen, but by that time other stuff would be released and I would be able to kind of play it. We'll see.
You are overburdened.
Oh, another wife-bound item with 3 sockets. This one can be interesting, because it's a pet item. Imagine that triple block chance upgrade here. Does the pet have limited block chance to 40% like the player? Or is the pet's block chance unlimited? As much as you can get it from a gear. That's something I'm gonna need to find out eventually. But at least I know triple socketed items do still exist. So far though I've only found them either a few weeks ago on regular items or yesterday and today, I mean 2 days ago and today on wife-bound items. So maybe they did some changes to triple socketed items and made them appear more on wife-bound gear instead of on regular gear. Nice. If only I needed the XP from those guys. Go, let's keep moving. Alright, next off. really hoping I can get some. What am I hoping for? Mostly, I want probably better gauntlets for the Goblin Frontier, better boots for the Goblin Frontier, and the most needed would be some nice offhand or weapon for the Goblin Frontier. Although I'm always happy if I get an item, even if it's not good road item that I've never gotten. I do love finding some of those legendaries I've never had. Some of those legendaries that were added with the past few updates, and I'm still to farm. And the game keeps surprising me. Every week I get a few new items that I've never gotten. 1 or 2 or 3 each week. Right, I'm gonna send the pets to the town. Where's the legendary gear farming hiding? He already got a few blue items. Seems like a Wookiee map. That kind of got them all with one shot. And these two. I can't wait for hearing more about when the next update is coming, and I'm assuming this week or next week they would give us some information about the next upcoming update. Like a preview or a date or something. Because December is almost, I mean December is here, and it's almost time for holidays. 2-3 weeks is what I believe would be until the next update hits. It would be best if the update hits before the holidays, but if it's not ready, I'd rather not get an update and make them have it ready for next year. Why can't I go there? Okay, that was kind of weird. Sometimes I do wish I could rotate my camera. I mean, imagine that, being able to rotate the camera would make some of that wood that is stuck behind certain objects much easier to pick up.
Hey Struck, do you know how I can get a key?
Yuri1, hello. Well, I do know few ways how you can get a key, but they're not guaranteed that you would be getting your key. One of them would be to sign up on torchlightfrontiers.com. So I'm gonna type it. So torchlightfrontiers.com. I hope I didn't make a typo. I'm famous for doing a lot of typos when I type. So if you can sign up there and then wait, but it's completely
Yuri1,
RNG.
thank you for the
Completely
follow
RNG.
and welcome to the Struck Club.
And thanks for the follow, dude. Welcome to the Struck Club, indeed, much appreciated.
Happy
so
face,
one of them
I
is to
did.
sign up, and then it's completely RNG. You can sign up today and get invited tomorrow, or you can sign up today and get invited in 1 month, in 1 week, in 2 months, 2 weeks. So it's completely random. Some people have been waiting for a few weeks, others have been waiting for over a year to get invited. And that's mostly because some websites are registering their bots, and those bots are getting accepted, and then they use those keys the bots get and sell them illegally. I think that's the main reason why a lot of people have not gotten invites. Another thing you can do is follow the official Torchlight Frontiers Twitch and Twitter. On Twitter there might be some contests, and on Twitch every
Official
Friday there
TLF
is a
Twitch.
Friday Fun Day stream. I gave you links to those.
Official TLF Twitter.
Twitch.tv/playtorchlight
like
and
8 months ago,
twitter.com/playtorchlight. So, oh, you registered 8 months ago. Damn, man, you've waited a long time. You definitely deserve an invite if you've waited for so long. So, on Twitch every Friday there is a Friday Fun Day stream about 11 AM Pacific time, which in United Kingdom time, in UK time would be 7 in the evening. German time 8 in the evening. Every Friday there is a Friday Fun Day stream. Last Friday there wasn't one because of holidays, Thanksgiving, etc. But most Fridays, mind you, when there aren't any holidays, there would be a Friday Fun Day stream with the community manager together with someone else from the team sometimes just the community manager himself. And in those streams sometimes there are giveaways. I'm not saying that every time there will be one, but sometimes there are some keys given away, and it's totally worth watching those streams, even if it's not just for the keys, just for the information and the sneak peek behind the scenes of things that are to come. Sometimes they preview skills that are new, sometimes they preview new weapons, so there's always something interesting going on in those streams. So even if you haven't watched them live, you can catch them for the next 30 days after the stream has been uploaded. You can watch a replay. So for a month afterwards, there's always the option to catch up. And as I said, on Twitter they do contests. Sometimes those contests would reward keys to a certain number of participants who won the contest. But yeah, pay attention to those two things, Twitter and Twitch. That's my advice, other than registering on the website. There's not much else I can give as an advice, I guess.
I will.
And good work, Jude. Good work.
Thank you.
I'm assuming there will be a big wave of invites now before the holidays start, when the next update hits us. Update 10 is coming, and it's a round update, a Jubilee update, and it's gonna have a new frontier, so it's probably gonna be the biggest update since the game launched, since the alpha launched. So my guess is there will be a lot of people invited. I'm really hoping that they change their invitation setup from, instead of sending people keys over email, just adding access for their account itself. So automatically activating those keys for certain emails or for certain accounts. That would kind of make the job of those illegal key sellers slightly harder. If that's not the case right now, because I'm not sure how it works right now, but I remember long ago when I got invited, I actually got sent a key, which I could just activate through the extra launcher, through the Arc launcher. So yeah, I'm just gonna break some gear down. By the way, if you wanna see certain character class, let me know. I've got them all leveled up. My forge is not level 100, it's 98, but it's still kind of just 2 levels away from the maximum, so kind of almost the same. So if you want to see me play the other characters, do let me know. I normally always play every single character in my streams. Sometimes I would play 2 out of 3, but I try throughout the duration of a single stream to kind of show a bit of every character.
ELO.
Jarek Nerezinski, hello.
I'm enjoying this one. Don't
welcome,
worry.
Welcome back to my YouTube, Jarek. Nice to see you. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. And yeah, Yuri, nice that you're enjoying this. So yeah, this is the Dusk Mage currently farming in the Goblin Frontier. I'm gonna do one or maybe two more maps on the Dusk Mage. Then I'm gonna change characters, do 3-4 maps, change characters, do 3-4 maps. Cause yeah, today my stream would be short. Let's say another 2 hours maximum from now. I kind of was busy today with recording footage and editing and rendering for a build video for Borderlands. So shorter stream, but maybe tomorrow I can have a longer stream depending. I do have some things I want to do in Borderlands tomorrow, but maybe I can postpone that. I'm also wondering if I should stream some votes and because it got updated. And again, what I said at the beginning of my stream, if some of you play Grim Dawn, it recently got its biggest content update. So Grim Dawn is a recommendation of mine for people who are fans of the genre. The game is on Steam, and yeah, it's definitely a game to play. Even if you want to play just 1 or 2 playthroughs, I've kind of played it too much that now I'm kind of bored of leveling up new characters in Grim Dawn. But there was huge rebalancing changes, so even if you played it before but haven't in 1 or 2 years, it's definitely worth coming back to the game.
Which game? I
Grim
left.
Dawn, I'm gonna type it. It got update 1.5.0 and 1.5.1 hotfix in the recent few days, which did shit tons of rebalancing with the blue and more with the blue called epic items, I think, or was it rare items? I think it was epic, the blue ones. And then with the monster infrequence, a lot of things changed. Grim Dawn is kind of currently probably my favorite ARPG after Path of Exile. The only reason why I'm not playing Path of Exile is the XP was on that. I mean, it's not the only reason, but the one major reason why I don't enjoy playing Path of Exile is that I get punished severely for dying. So first of all, Path of Exile punishes me for dying by losing XP, and then it also limits my amount of times I can enter a map, which I'm not a big fan of, because if I want to play in a full group, if one of us dies, that's it, the map's over for them. It's too hardcore for me. Whereas with Grim Dawn, there are certain roguelike dungeons where if you die, the dungeon's over, but not all of it is like that. There's plenty of content where you can die and just respawn. And Grim Dawn has this multi-class system where you kind of combine one class with another, and it also has a Diablo 2 conversion mod. So if you used to play Diablo 2, there is a mod called Reign of Terror that changes Grim Dawn into a Diablo 2 kind of game. It has the story, the music, the items of Diablo 2, even the original classes of Diablo 2. So that's one of my recommendations for people who currently cannot play Torchlight Frontiers. Other one obviously would be Torchlight 2. Torchlight 2 is great, especially if you want to play with mods. On Steam, on the Steam Workshop, there's a lot of mods, mod packs as well. Like the mod pack I always recommend some of my viewers is Draco's mod pack. It's just because it was the one that I was playing with last when I played the game, and I really enjoyed it. It has a lot of different classes, like 60-70 classes to pick from. All of them combined from different mods. It has a lot of customization for the pets, pet skills, different fish to feed your pet, to transform it into different pets. And when it comes to Torchlight Frontiers, there's big changes coming, and you might want to check the travel board. And I'm gonna do that for YouTube as well, the link, travel, TLF. I'm just gonna quickly verify that the link got sent.
I played a lot of Torchlight 2 and Poe but just wanted to try something new. Grimdao looks great.
Grimdown is something definitely on my top 3, let's say. It's probably in my top 2. I mean, Path of Exile and Grimdown are the two that are probably on my top altogether. Like, I can't pick which one I like more than the other, because they're very different yet similar genre. But it's definitely the games that had years of development, years of updates, of contents, and I'm not a big fan of how leaks work in Path of Exile, having to restart every leak, and if you want to play the new content, you can either wait for the leak to end to play in the regular one, or you kind of have to play the leak. I'm not a big fan of that, of forcing people to start over if they want to experience the latest update. This is not the way it should be, I think, but yeah, I guess everyone has their own preferences, and the ones I have are definitely not the same as the majority of the players on the genre. I prefer to play more casually, more chilled out, without being punished too severely. That's why maybe you would see me playing, instead of playing on the highest difficulty most of the time, I would be playing on difficult. Every now and then I switch to difficulty just for the challenge, because currently I'm maxing out my gear work. Currently I have 87 gear work, and my map is giving me 20, and the limit is 100. So I really don't need that extra 10% from here. I'm still hitting the cap when it comes to gear work, and I don't need XP, I don't need potion work. So the only thing that would make me switch difficulty is if I wanna test a build to see how strong it is on ridiculous, or if I wanna test a new item to just see how it works. Currently this game has a lot of big changes coming, such as special legendary items. And those special legendary items would modify certain skills.
Exactly, I have a LVL 92 Righteous Fire character and it's a sad that I can't try new stuff.
Yeah, I guess so. That's how it is. Some games just kind of do some things that make no sense. And I know why they make it, because they want players old and new to keep returning for each league. The same goes for Diablo. But in Diablo it's pretty easy to get max level, whereas in Grimdown, not Grimdown, but in Path of Exile, it's easy to reach the end game, but it's not easy to max out the character. So if you want to try a maxed out build, you either have to play the Care Bear way and play low level, low tier maps, like tier 9, 10, 11 maps, and level in those, or risk dying and losing all your progress in a moment of distraction, or getting huge wax spikes, because it does happen. Sometimes you would get distracted, you would die and you would lose a lot of XP, then you would another time you would get a huge wax spike, or the game would freeze, and then you're gonna be dead when it's unfrozen. And I think it would be nice for Path of Exile maybe to make a league where people don't compete for the race. Like they can opt out of the race, which in turn removes the death penalty for them, the XP loss penalty. That way leveling up would be pretty quick for the non-meta players, for the more casual players. Grimdown is a bit less punishing when it comes to the leveling. It just takes a while to level up a character there, but it's not so bad. With the right approach, it's pretty easy, especially if you play in a party. There's a lot of public lobbies, and yeah, people can kind of power level you there in Crucible or in other different modes. And Grimdown has this linear progression of the story mode. So similar to Path of Exile or Diablo 2, you kind of go through the different acts one by one, then do a different difficulty and so on. And this is what gets boring for me personally in Grimdown. When you've leveled over 10-15 characters, it might get boring, which is where some community-made tools come handy. There's options to like take a character and reset all its skills and everything and classes. And you can use a template character. That's where the community comes in handy in Grim Dawn. If you like playing with modded things like that are good. But of course it's always optional. But if you're a new player, if you've never played the game, I believe you would have a blast. Especially in your first playthrough. Another game that I'm looking forward to, it's coming in a few days, is Darksiders Genesis. Unfortunately, I don't currently have the funds to buy it, but when I have the funds to buy it, I would, and I would start streaming it. I do have some of my viewers who already told me that they're interested in playing the game, and we can play it together when I get it, but for now I'm kind of 99% sure I won't be able to get it on the launch day. I'm gonna have to wait a bit. Okay, let's pick up this green thing. But that's another recommendation on mine. But when it comes to the Darksiders ARPG, Darksiders Genesis, I'm thinking it would be more of the single-player game you play with others instead of a multiplayer online-only game like Torchlight or Path of Exile or Diablo 3, etc. So I'm not sure how heavily focused the endgame and the progression would be. Probably it's gonna be fun to play it a few times, a few playthroughs, do a bit of co-op, but time will tell. I'm just gonna wait for the game to get released before I make my judgment and before I know more about it. But it's definitely something I'm looking forward to. And there's also gonna be a Minecraft ARPG, Minecraft Dungeons. This probably doesn't sound appealing to most mature gamers, but to me it sounds intriguing. And from what I've seen from the Minecraft Dungeons game, it looks like something that I can have some fun in. It doesn't seem like a game that's for kids only, so it definitely seems like adults can enjoy it as well. Currently there's some troubles with my fort loading. Okay, it started loading finally. Alright, now I'm gonna break down some items again. I already have a few Molten Reach items, but I guess I just have to compare them once again. Actually, I'm gonna keep this, I wanna see something. Holy Bolt, Blind Fear. Yeah, I wanna do some testing here. I have two of this item. This Molten Reach. I already have those two here. So one thing is sure, this always has chance to fear. This one has chance to fear, this one has chance to fear. So I guess it's always a chance to fear item. This one is nice because it has crit chance but no sockets, so it definitely is gonna get destroyed. Another thing I'm looking for is... See, this one has decent mana again. But yeah, if it had crit hit chance, I could probably add some more mana again and be better than my legendary one, but it isn't. Now another thing I want to check is my Crowd Crusher. I should have one somewhere here. Crowd Crusher. I have one here, I'm not sure what it is. So maybe this Crowd Crusher I'm gonna keep. I have one here. Blind Bleed crit damage, and this one is good if using Holy Bolt. Actually, I'm just gonna get rid of it. It's not something... Oh! On second thought, there's a Holy Bolt item upcoming. A Holy Bolt specific item upcoming, so maybe that would be worth keeping. for builds with that item. Because yeah, there's an item coming that would allow you, when shooting Holy Bolt, a chance to shoot Absolver. And if it scales off of the Holy Bolt damage, that's gonna be quite interesting to have some Holy Bolt gear. Okay, let's get rid of those two items and then do another map. And how the end game in this game is pretty simple. I'm gonna go to the town quickly to show you. Basically, you go to the town. There's currently one outpost with a second in the works. A second public hub is coming. For now, we do have this one. In here, you might end up seeing other players if you are in the same seat. So I can be in a seat, some seat in the Western Europe server. Then a friend of mine might be in the American seat, and until we group up and one of us teleports to the zone again, we would be actually in the same place but in different seats of it. I need some more goblin maps. So this is how you get maps. You can buy white or green maps, or you can do contracts, which there's a limited number of contracts quests you can pick up every week. They reward you 100 fame each. And as you do those contracts, you unlock different things such as essence bundles, map bundles, pets, wardrobes, resource bundles, crafting materials for relic weapons, and a bunch of other stuff. And once you reach the level cap here, which is 60, it resets from the start, and some of them would be repeatable, others wouldn't. So I can't
When this
say
game
what
is
will be
going
and
to
what
be
won't
out?
be. Alerwink G, welcome to YouTube. As for your question, the game currently is doesn't have a fixed date, but I'm assuming next year. Next year around probably maybe summer, maybe autumn. My guess is it will be next year for sure. It won't be 2021. From the way things are going, 2020 is the year, but which month I can't tell you. I can tell you one thing, it surely wouldn't be in the first few months of next year, so it's gonna be in the second part of the year when the game releases. Currently it's still in alpha, so we need a few months of closed beta, then a few months of open beta, and before that there's a lot of stuff that needs to be completed in the alpha itself. There's a lot of things missing. They're planning on adding 2 more frontiers. One of them is coming with the next big update, but there's also another one in the works, and then there's one more character in the works, probably with more upcoming, but for now we have confirmed 4th character in the game. I'm assuming before the launch they would want to have all 4 characters that we know of being completed, with all of those skills that are currently work in progress being finished. Each class is getting 1 extra skill. So currently from the 3 classes, everyone has 3 missing skills. Maybe some of them might have 4, but I think all of them have 3 skills missing, with one more being unlocked for each class with the next update, which would mean there will be 2 missing skills on each class still. So that's definitely something that needs to be finished before moving on to a beta, I assume. I'd rather them take their time instead of rushing it. Because I'm not sure whether you know what happened to Warhammer Chaos Bane, but it had a huge potential, but then when the game launched it was rushed, and there were a lot of things that were handled in a bad way. Of course, it seemed like a beta being released when Chaos Bane released. Probably nowadays Chaos Bane seems more closer to a full game, but there's still a lot of annoying bugs in the game. hopefully the game launches around the summer of next year, like
I regret
August,
buying
September.
C-Bane.
Yeah, Chaos Bane, I mean, it is getting there eventually, but it's probably gonna take a few more months of development for Chaos Bane to be actually worth recommending to people for the full price. I mean, if you buy it for half the price or discounted, maybe it's worth spending a few hours in the game. But yeah, when it comes to certain things in the game, I'm not a big fan of them. Especially the last update introduced some annoying glitches where I would activate a skill, it would consume the cooldown, but the skill would not actually take effect. And that's happening on all classes. On all classes I've had problems with certain god skills like that. And god skills are supposed to be those skills that give you a nice boost of DPS or nice boost of regeneration or whatever. They're kind of those important skills in the game when it comes to Chaos Bane. There's many games in the genre coming soon, so I think not spending time in Chaos Bane will not be feeling like a void that needs to be filled. I can always go and play a bit of Wosen. The only reason why I'm not playing Wosen, by the way, is because mages are severely underpowered, and I'm a big fan of playing mages. But if you guys like playing ranged classes like crossbow, bow, or if you like playing melee classes, Wosen is a very nice suggestion. It still is in development, it still is in beta, so it definitely is another game that's not finished yet. And actually when I bought Wosen it was still called Umbra, so it was long ago. But yeah, it's something fresh in the genre. It's using Cryo engine, so it's using Cry engine, and it's kind of heavy. So if you have an older computer, maybe Wosen is not the best game for you. But yeah, it definitely has a challenge, and it has a lot of things coming bit by bit into the game as well. There are a lot of other games in the genre which I haven't played, which I can't comment on, but I've always wanted to try Last Epoch. So yeah, when the game releases, I'm probably gonna test it then. For now, I'm not gonna try and buy it on early access. But currently, I guess the two biggest games in the genre that are released in the Western audience would be Grim Dawn and Path of Exile. The ones that had years of development, years of constant updates. And I'm saying released in the Western market because Lost Ark is a great game for those of you who want a more close to an MMO experience with isometric look and an Unreal 3 engine, not Unreal 4 like this game, but Unreal 3. But Lost Ark is a beautiful game, even though it's using older generation of the Unreal Engine. They kind of pushed it to its limits, so they managed to squeeze the most out of the graphics and special effects in Lost Ark. And the game unfortunately still has not released on the Western, only in the Korean and in the Russian market. I did play the Russian version a bit. I just can't stream it because I don't know any good free proxies that can handle my bitrate streaming. I think I stream with 6.5 thousand bitrate, and adding a bit of extra bitrate to play the game and all of that, yeah, it's probably gonna be a very heavy on a free VPN. And currently you can't play the Korean or the Russian Lost Ark version without a VPN. But there are a lot of people. I've actually myself watched some people streaming Lost Ark, and there are a lot of guides of how you can register an account for those different foreign versions. And it seems like most of those guides are advertising ExitWack. As ExitWack is some sort of VPN service for gamers. But yeah, when I try and watch a guide, they just keep advertising this service, and it's not the only service that people can use, but I guess it's the only one that offers some incentives to people to advertise it. I would recommend Lost Ark to people who are MMO players who are looking for something less hardcore than an MMO, but not as casual as an ARPG. When it comes to having fishing, grinding, crafting, exploration and all of that in one game. Siege Wars, PvP and all of that. Personally, I'm kind of no longer a big fan of those epic MMO type of games. I currently don't feel like grinding my ass off the way I used to like when I was a teenager. So I like things like this game. The more casual approach, the ones where you don't need to spend shit tons of hours every day. You don't need to do certain missions every day, some daily repeatable missions. Like I can not play this game for a few days and I'm not missing out on any rewards while not playing on those games. But some of the other games that have daily rewards, weekly rewards, etc., you know you're kind of missing out if you skip a day. This game has weekly missions, the contracts, but I can walk one day of the week, spend a few hours, complete my weekly contracts, and then know that I'm not missing out on anything else. And I prefer it being weekly than daily. If I had to choose between weekly and daily quests, I would definitely prefer the weekly ones, because then I can decide which day of the week I have time. Some people work during weekends, other people work during Monday to Friday, some people like work Thursday to Monday or something like that. So yeah, there's different people with different amounts of time and availability. So it's definitely nice to not try and make things daily for the casual players, the ones that can be online all the time. But I've been noticing the borders between MMO and ARPG in a lot of the games are starting to kind of get blurry. You have games like Mu Online, Mu Legends, I think, which kind of is a lot of pay to win. I'm not suggesting anyone to try Mu Legends. I was very disappointed when I tried it. I was expecting it to be more like the old Mu, but yeah. A lot of pay to win, a lot of pay to progress. This is a nice chest, by the way. This thing here can be great with the right enchantments for a defensive chest. Currently the one I've got with 2 times crit damage is great for an offensive one. Probably gonna keep that one. There's also good things about the pet system in this game. I currently can't save a pet. Normally on this map there would be a pet to save, but I guess they've removed it. But you encounter different pets in the game, and when you get a pet you get one of those skills here. I'm gonna show you one of those skills. It's always a random one. Once you collect it, you get the pet, and then this skill gets unlocked for all of your pets. So you unlock the skills by collecting pets that have those skills, and then you can kind of pick one aura. Those 4 are auras. You pick one aura, then you pick 3 more skills from those 4 here, and there's gonna be more skills released. I'm assuming they're gonna fill up those 4 slots here and maybe add a scroll bar where we can pick some more. This is just the first version of the system, and there's definitely gonna be more updates to this system. The game doesn't have a lot of depth yet, but it has depth when it comes to the Talon tree. Then there's the pet skills, and then there's a relic weapon. We have 3 relic weapons with 2 in the works. So yeah, if you're new and you didn't know much about the game, feel free to ask me about all the things you see. I'm gonna provide the info. I mean, normally on my streams when there's new players, I keep saying the same things over and over again, because it's still good information for someone that's new. Like, those are the relic weapons, the 3 relic weapons that we have available at the moment. And they get crafted with different materials, and they give you different skills. And each relic weapon you kind of get 40 levels and decide how to spend those points. You can see this requires 5, 10, 15 and 30 total points spent. I think this should be, instead of 30 total points spent, 30 levels of the relic weapon. So then you can, instead of spending points here to unlock this, you can kind of save those points and spend them here if you want. Or save them and spend them in those two only. So you can send the pet to the town to sell the items in their bag. So all those items now are gonna get sold. And the pet would return and bring me money.
Your pet is back.
And the gear you don't need. What you do with the gear you don't need, you turn it into this powder, green, blue and orange powder, which is called essence. This, by the way, is a great weapon for a blue one. Of course, I've got better ones that are legendary, so I don't need this one. So one essence, one essence, one essence here. And with this armor I might actually keep it. So this level 29, I'm not sure why I'm keeping it. I'm gonna get rid of this level 29 armor. I think I was keeping it because I didn't have another one, but now I already have one like this. This one is the same one, just level 50 different stats. And those things I'm opening right now are wardrobes. You craft those wardrobes and you can store certain sets. I can swap this item with this item if I want to, although that's kind of a bad example because you don't see the change. Like I can swap the chest armor, see? Quickly swapping between one and the other. I can swap all of them if I want to. So you can kind of save different builds here. Like if I want to have a build that's centered around things like Unholy Boat. Maybe I can put all my Unholy Boat in one gear. Or different frontiers. You see, this is poison defense. This is fire defense. This is goblin defense and fire. And this is poison. So yeah, you decide what gear you have with what type of defense. And since you have 2 frontiers currently, where was it? This one. Goblin frontier is fire and goblin. This one is hivit and poison. So currently we have those 4 types of defenses together with physical and undead and Netherim. So Netherim and undead are both physical, but they're separate. So they're enemies that appear in any frontier regardless what it is. They're like more of the general type enemies. That's why most of the times people would want to build towards either fire and goblin like me currently, or towards hivit and poison if you want to go in the hivit frontier. I'm gonna quickly do some, actually let's do some more goblin. I'm gonna do hivit on the next character, so one more goblin map, and then I'm gonna switch characters and show you some more of that. In the meantime, I need to go and grab myself a glass of water, so I need like 30 seconds AFK. I'm gonna start a quick 30-second break, and I'm gonna be right back in 30 seconds after I get myself some water. Okay, I'm back. Let's see, the break is over. So, back to the game. So we started a map, and this one is a double health map. So each time you go into a map there's a different modifier. If you open blue or legendary maps, they might have 2 or 3 modifiers. Whereas a green map and a white map is always one modifier here. It's random, it's different, and this modifier applies to the enemies on the map, whether they have double damage, double HP, resistance to fire, resistance to poison, things like that in general. And on top of that, elite enemies have their own modifiers, their own affixes, such as blazing that leaves a trail of fire, or invigorated, or regenerates health. Invigorated has more HP, I think, and regenerates health is kind of self-explanatory. Then there's lethal that gives them extra crit chance and damage. So yeah, there's different map mods and different enemy affixes. Some bosses always have a certain affix on them, whereas the random elites, which are purple for elite, unique is green, like sea green or something like that, and then there's yellow for legendary monster spawns, which are always with some random modifiers. You've already probably saw me kill some of those enemies that are rare. Like let's just call them champions. I think that's the official term. Although there are enemies that are actually called champions. But yeah, there could be a champion I guess in this game. You see, this map is inhabited by undead. So in cases like this map, stacking physical defense or undead defense would be nice. Because you saw it was undead, a bit of Netherrim as well. So physical defense would probably be ideal, because you would be benefiting from the physical against the Netherrim as well. There might be some skeletons with fire damage. And in the... So this is, as I said, elite. You see under its name it says elite, it says bonded, so become stronger when pack member dies. But this is, I don't think this should happen. You shouldn't get bonded on a single enemy. I think bonded should only be spawnable on enemies that are at least 2 in the pack. I might actually just report this right now. And those monster packs can go between a single enemy all the way to 12. The other day I had 12 enemies from the pack. And it was a very nasty pack. It was on the final difficulty, on ridiculous in the Torchlight Frontier, and I didn't have much Torchlight defenses back then when I was playing. And it was right after I was running off from a boss because I wanted to avoid getting hit because I had 0 potions. So it was it was the perfect time to spawn a mob pack, and it spawned a 12 pack of elites of purple enemies, and I've never seen a 12 pack before. Most of the time it would be like 3, 4, sometimes 8 enemies.
You are overloaded.
I forgot to disenchant this to break it down. Also, certain items only drop from certain enemies and only on certain frontiers. So that's always gonna make you try and farm that one item you want from that frontier. You're seeing me play with the poison relic, which summons those spiders. So how those spiders get summoned is, each time I kill a poisoned enemy, there's a certain chance to spawn a spider for a few seconds, and depending on how you've leveled up your relic, you can either have more chance to spawn those spiders or a higher number of spiders. I've already got the maximum number of spiders here, so that would mean up to 12 spiders. The default is 2, and each level here gives you an extra 1 spider, up to 12 together, so 10 plus 2. And this the default is 40% with extra 50%, so I have 90% chance to get those spiders. This is kind of how I've built this relic. But someone might wanna go less heavy on the spiders and go heavily on the damage and cooldown on venomous maw. And this spread of death is when I hit a poisoned enemy, there's a chance to spawn those missiles off of that enemy. So I'm gonna poison those enemies now just to show you. And I'm gonna try and use some attacks. See those green projectiles? They have a chance to spawn when I hit a poisoned enemy. This is great for builds that use skills like Energy Spike. Energy Spike would have more hits per second, which would mean more chances to spawn this spread of death. Whereas with Entropy, you probably won't be hitting the same target more often and proccing this as often, but it's not so bad. I mean, you can get that from 45% chance to, I think, 95% chance. And 45, I think it's 30. I think the base damage is 30, and you can get it to 55% extra damage. So yeah, I guess different builds of course would require different setups with the relic weapon, and the only problem is we can't reset the relic weapon skills. So if you want a different relic weapon setup, you have to farm for crafting materials and make a new one. Whereas when it comes to the player skills, you eventually, when they introduce a respect system, and I think this is coming with update 10, but I can't confirm it, then we would be able to respec our skill points by removing one level at a time. So let's say they drop Essence X, let's call it Essence X. Of course it's probably not gonna be called Essence, it's gonna be called something, but let's say item X drops. I need a certain amount of item X to remove one skill point from one skill. And if I want to get this to 0 from 4, I will need 4 times that amount. And I would have to do it one by one. Kind of like Orb of Regret and down leveling a certain gem in Path of Exile, or removing a certain passive from the skill tree, one by one. Currently we have something experimental for alpha testers. Every week they give us a complete respec. So every week here at the bottom we would see a button that would, like I think on Tuesdays is the when they do it, on Tuesdays, that would allow us to completely reset all the skill points spent, get those skill points back, and pick a new setup. This is great for alpha testing, to let people test different builds, experiment boldly without worrying too much whether they mess up a build or not, knowing that they can get a new build next week. But that is only temporary. Once they introduce the respec system, this will no longer be the option. And I've experimented with a lot of builds, with a lot of skills, so thankfully I can give some feedback regarding those. Once the system is introduced, I would keep respecing when I have the chance to make new builds when there's new skills introduced. So it's definitely gonna be worth it. And you wouldn't need a complete respec. When they release a new skill, you probably would just wanna remove what, 20-30 points and just spend them differently. Not all of them. This is a green enemy, green pack. So this is a unique one with a chance to knock back. But the game definitely is fun, especially the mage. I mean, it's hard for me to say which class is my favorite, but the mage was my first one. And for a while the mage was vastly superior to other classes. Now the Realm Master is just as strong, and the Forged is not so bad either. I mean, the Forged is probably the weakest one when it comes to DPS, but it got better with the final update, giving the Forged Fracking Strike and Sonic Pulse. Got him closer to the DPS capabilities of a mage or a Realm Master with the right setup. The Realm Master currently can be the tankiest of them all with Shield Car. With Shield Car you can be kind of invincible if you stack a lot of gear that modifies your Shield Car duration, and maybe pick something like Flame Car, or instead of Flame Car just go for a complete melee build, but with Shield Car, like a hybrid. With the melee builds there are some problems when it comes to heavy toxic maps. But I think with the Shield Car you can kind of counter those with enough defenses and Shield Car for damage reduction. And the game definitely is better when played together. This even rhymes. I guess I've said it multiple times and I keep noticing the rhyme after I say it, not before. But yeah, it's definitely better to get your buddies, group up and do stuff together. Because you can buff each other up, you can debuff the enemies to take more damage from everyone. And you can stack the debuff from the Forged with the debuff from the Realm Master with the buff from the Mage. And the more allies play with the Mage, the stronger the Mage gets. Currently I think this is a bug, but my spiders count as allies, so currently you see 5 allies, which is probably, yeah, 5 spiders in the circle. And all of those were giving me extra damage. Of course now they are no longer there. Okay, I gotta get rid of some of that stuff. So with 12 spiders that's gonna be a huge damage buff, if I can get all 12 spiders to stay in the consecrated circle. So this one did a lot of damage because I kind of let him hit me. But yeah, this boss you would wanna prevent from hitting you. You would wanna dodge all of his attacks because he's very heavy when it comes to his attacks. And he's fast, unlike some other skeleton bosses that you can kite all day long without them being able to reach you. This one is kind of fast, so if you stop, you kind of do 1 or 2 hits, then you need to kite again, otherwise it will reach you quickly. I'm waiting for my pet, just 6 seconds before I can pick up some more stuff.
Your pet has returned.
Okay, now the pet is here, I can pick this stuff, give it to my pet. and those recipes are for enchanting. I've already learned those, so I can just sell them for 15 gold each. But you unlock different recipes for enchanting to get things like this gear work, this fire defense, or here the goblin defense, fire defense. So all this is obtained through enchanting, and when you break gear down into essences, you then use those essences to enchant. Okay, another Netherrim item. I might really collect a complete Netherrim setup. Imagine my surprise when they would add a Netherrim only map. I'm gonna be a happy man for saving some Netherrim defense gear if they really decide to add a map filled to the brim with Netherrim. Or a whole frontier. Imagine the Nether world, the Nether realm, Nether realm frontier. That's gonna be epic. Let's say frontier number 4 or frontier number 5 being a Nether realm frontier, where it's mostly Netherrim enemies with maybe some other things like skeletons or whatever. Or nether infected enemies. Imagine some goblins or Hivit that are nether infected and controlled by the demons, like infested or whatever. That's gonna be nice. So the enemies from all frontiers having Netherrim versions in the Nether realm. I guess that's just me being wishful there, but okay, let's put this in here. Boots, Netherrim. Okay, boots and this. And I had some other Netherrim stuff. I just need to find out where it is. Netherrim, 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 Netherrim. I might as well just do this. And put those boots here. Oh, those are... Wait. Somewhere here, there we go. That's some place without boots. So this I won't need because it's a two-hander. This I won't need. Chance to shock and crit damage. I think I had a chance to shock weapon around here. Somewhere. Yeah, this is chance to shock and crit chance. So that's kind of an interesting decision. What about a chance to shock weapon somewhere? I wanna compare one. I probably have one somewhere out here. Okay, faster cooldown for Dark Spears, energy cost for Holy Bolt. Think I'm just gonna replace this and get rid of this. Entropy and Absolver. Absolver was my witch doctor. This one, Absolver, 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 Absolver. My plague doctor. So this is Absolver and Entropy. Not a bad combo, but the other one being Absolver and Holy Bolt is kind of a terrible combination. But it's 14.5% minus to Absolver, so yeah, it's another frontier. I think I had another Absolver somewhere set up. And by the way, I'm gonna go on another character after I sort this gear here. Hope it's not too boring me doing this. But it has to be done, I guess. Trying to get rid of all my old gear and replace it eventually with some new one. Holy Boat, energy cost for Holy Boat defense. Holy Fury entropy. Gearwork and defenses. Right, this is very low level. I'm just gonna get rid of this low level gearwork stuff. I'm gonna keep this one in case I need a goblin entropy absolver setup. You never know, with the introduction of the new legendaries that will be coming bit by bit, like 9 of them we know of are coming with update 10. 3 for each character for now. But there's gonna be more coming later, and there would be some interesting builds opening up with the introduction of those. Probably gonna get rid of this one. And I need to get rid of this one. And now what I'm gonna do is my pet returned? Yeah. I'm gonna go to character selection and I'm allowing you guys to pick which hero I will be playing. So it's either this one or this one, whichever you wanna see first. I've got time to show you a bit of both. I've got like another hour, so I can play half an hour on one of them, half an hour on the other. So this one seems to be geared for the Hybrid Frontier. This one also seems to be geared for the Hybrid Frontier. Right, maybe let's do 3 maps on this guy and 3 maps on the other, or 2 maps on this guy and 2 maps on the other, depending how long it takes me per map. So currently the Hybrid defenses are not so bad. And we even got enough fire defense to not get killed quickly by the fire archers, which I think there shouldn't be fire skeleton archers in the Hybrid Frontier, and there are some. In the meantime, I want some maps, so let's get a few here. Trying to keep my money low, so when I die I don't lose that much.
See you next time.
And let's go. So this is a very specific build. This build uses the 102% crit chance and stacks it with a lot of crit damage. The limit to crit damage is 300, so I'm getting very close to that limit. And I really don't need crit chance because this always crits. That's why my pet is giving me movement speed. Of course, this is still glitchy skill. Sometimes it kind of doesn't hit, especially when the enemy is right next to you. It just doesn't hit it sometimes, see? It was passing through it, the projectile, it was not colliding. And this is not the only skill that suffers from this problem, unfortunately. So yeah, I'm hoping before it's time for beta this would be fixed. We got a few more months, I guess, before a beta though. This is a double health map, so the enemies have 2 times the HP they normally do. Meaning it will take me twice the time to kill them, I guess. And yeah, this is slightly different than the Goblin Frontier, as you see in the 5-bit Frontier. And since I'm using a different relic, you're able to see it in action. This fire relic. This is my ultimate, my big relic active skill. And there's small fireballs falling when I hit a burning enemy with some chance. The same way the poison one has that kiss of death, where it, or spread of death, whatever it was called, the one where it shoots poison projectiles when I hit poisoned enemies. Here the effect is different. If I hit a burning enemy, there's a chance for a fireball to fall on top of its head. Of course, most enemies get one shot on this difficulty with this character from this always critting skill. But the big ones, the ones that don't get one shot, do have a chance to proc this fireball. Wait, why aren't those dying? Is it the glitched one? Yeah, a lot of them are glitched. There's like 3-4 of them that are glitched. I think I killed them while they were still charging, and this caused the glitch to happen. Eventually they would fall into the ground like that one and those ones, but yeah. As I said, it's still an alpha game, and some of the things people may not notice immediately. By the way, you just saw those big fireballs falling, you see. And there's also chance for the enemies to explode with a magma fissure. Those fissures here on the ground. So at first glance, some of those little bugs cannot be noticed, but when you play the game, you eventually start seeing them, and you realize that the game still has some stuff, some polishing that is needed. On top of missing some major systems. But overall, I'm having a lot of fun playing the game. And the game would release on consoles. It would be on PS4 and Xbox. I'm assuming PS5 and maybe the new Xbox when they get released, because I'm assuming PS5 is actually coming next year. That will remain to be seen, but PS4 definitely is in the works, and Xbox One or whatever the latest generation is called. I have not seen anything about Nintendo though. On the travel board you can see PS and Xbox, but nothing about Switch. We'll see how things go, because this game would be amazing on the Switch. Torchlight 2 is already on the Switch, so this would be a great addition if they decide to add it. The game you can play on the bus, on the tube, metro, or whatever you want to call it, on the train, on the way to work or back from work, or on the way to university or back from university. And this forged class is, yeah, it used to be like very underpowered before, and maybe this build I'm playing right now with some changes. A few months ago some of the skills you couldn't get, like this one. This used to be one of the few viable builds for this class. I mean, every build is viable, but some builds are stronger than others. But the game is set in such a way that even with a build that's not your typical most powerful build for the class, your typical meta build, it's still strong. You're still gonna be able to complete the content. And this used to be one of the builds before, long ago, that Slug Shot with crit damage stacking used to be a strong setup. But it's also very gear dependent. And now with enchantments it's a bit easier to get missing crit damage if you get unlucky. Like this weapon, it doesn't give me crit damage, but I managed to give it crit damage myself. And this one doesn't give me gear work, but I managed to give it gear work. And this one does give me gear work, but I managed to give it extra gear work. So like I'm looking for legs with crit damage and maybe armor with some crit damage, and then this build would be maxed out. But even without maxing it out to a 300% crit damage, it's still, as you can see, killing stuff quickly on the difficulty, on the middle difficulty. One step above normal. For farming, that's the difficulty. I mean, I wouldn't suggest farming in the final difficulty because things are much stronger and you're just gonna end up losing a lot of gold resurrecting if you're not good at surviving and dodging things, and if you don't have defenses. The final difficulty is good for players who have already enchanted their gear for some extra defense and damage reduction, and who are very confident about their ability to not get 1-2 shot. Because even on this difficulty there are things that can 1-2 shot me. Maybe not 1 shot, but 2 shot definitely is an option. Maybe things like Sora, if I have low HP, would 1 shot me. And Sora is one flying poison boss that shoots a slow moving projectile like a poison ball. Like a fireball but from poison. Slow moving projectile, but if you let yourself get hit by that projectile, of course it's gonna be over for you. In the best case, you're probably gonna have 10-15% HP left. And on ridiculous, I'm assuming it's an instant one shot even with a lot of defenses. And let's see something here. Currently 61.6%, I think, damage reduction on this frontier is what I've got. I think it's combining the high wit with the poison with the physical. Or is it combining all of those? Maybe it's combining all of those, but what matters here is those last three. Mostly this one and this one is what matters here. I mean, goblin defense is also nice for this frontier because there are a lot of goblins every now and then in the high-wit frontier. But they're actually poison goblins, so you definitely don't need fire for them. And there is, I think, a bug where this frontier spawns inferno skeletons instead of putrid, which means skeletons that shoot fire instead of poison. And I'm assuming these should not actually spawn in this frontier. Like, see, those skeletons here are with green weapons, so that's poison skeletons. But every now and then you might end up seeing me fighting those orange weapon skeletons with fire damage. So I managed to snipe the enemy from afar. So I'm gonna do one more map on this buddy, on this forged, and then 2 more on the Realm Master. I think just to make sure I've played enough on each of them. Because we've got 45 or let's say 55 or 50 more minutes. This is a speed shrine, kind of very badly placed. This speed shrine would have been very nicely placed if I instead of going there decide to go here and then needed to go back to explore this part. But it's RNG, completely RNG when and where a shrine would spawn. I mean, when, I guess it's always when the map starts, but where the shrine would be spawned is definitely RNG. and they don't regen those shrines, so even if you stay long enough in a certain map, it would not respawn unless it's a public map. And there are public maps in this game where you would see other players, not just yourself and your teammates, but other random people from other parties killing monsters.
You are overburdened.
So we're done with this map. Let's just get this. Right, I got myself some water. And this is what we just got. I've already got a lot of those, so I'm gonna show you in my fort what I mean by saying I've got a lot of those. I think every day I get one of those when I play the game. And those shields would definitely be worth it when they change, when they make the new version of those shields, the ones that have that special the special synergy between Bone Walker, which is a sword, Bone Walker, which is this shield, and Bone Razor, which is a sword. There would be a chance to summon extra skeletons when you have the two of them. So let's say this one summons 3 skeletons and this one summons 3 skeletons when they change them, and then when you have both of them together, there's a chance to summon extra 4 skeletons. Currently this is a very old one. This is kind of a newer version, which is similar to that one. Actually, let's send the pet first. What I need to do now is quickly compare them. Which one is better?
Your pet has returned.
So 9.8, 9.7, 16, 17.2. Yeah, again this one is the better one. So the other one is unnecessary. I want to check something. The one I've got, crit damage, cyclone mode, hit from rapid fire. So I'm not using rapid fire, I'm not using cyclone mode. The crit damage is nice. This is probably the only reason why I'm keeping it. If I could add crit damage on this one, I would have kept it, but I can't, so I'm just gonna get rid of it. I can only add defensive stuff there. This one though. This one, for when doing Torchlight Frontier, is better than what I've got equipped. All this goblin defense currently is not doing much for me. And yeah, I'm getting some extra crit damage, meaning 271, almost close to the limit. I'm very happy with this blue item. Just what I needed. And it's a level 51 item. You can wear up to 3 levels higher than you, so this one is level 49 in this and this frontier, so he can wear up to level 52 in each frontier. Level 50, which is the maximum character, can wear up to level 53 items. And you would be getting level 53 items in certain zones. So another Hivit map and then 2 more Hivit maps on the Realm Master. Now we've got extra poison defense, so perfect. Let's see if it's gonna be an open space map or whether it's gonna be another cave, dungeon, grotto type of map. Yep, open space instance. Those open space maps in the Hivit Frontier are famous for having a lot of elite enemy packs, a lot of champions. Double HP map again, so yeah, kind of having to spend a lot of time to kill them. At least it's not easy for them to kill me. with this map modifier. As you're seeing again, there's a lot of skeletons. And zombies. Okay. Oh well. I just found a new chest. Please be with sockets. Please be with sockets. Please be with... No sockets, but it's giving me physical damage and crit damage, so it's an upgrade. And HP. More HP than what I've got. So definitely an upgrade to what I was wearing. And it's actually an armor I was missing. I never had a legendary chest of the Torchlight Frontier. Look at that. It's giving my little robot some of those insect wings at the end. So nice to see items that I've never looted. Yet another day with such an item drop. So I'm wondering from the legendary Torchlight Frontier items how many I'm still missing. I probably have never gotten the helmet, have I? The legendary Torchlight helmet. And I think the legs I've also never gotten. I've gotten the hatch multiple times on the lower levels. I've gotten gauntlets I think as well, and shoulders, but never the chest until now, and I think I've never gotten the helm. But this definitely is a good drop. Flat damage, more crit damage than I had on the other one, more poison defense and more HP. Okay, let's see. This dude.
You are overloaded.
Now let's see about anything else spawning here. No. I'm happy that even though it's just 2 maps I've done on this character, I did get the legendary that I really needed for it. And my gearwork is maxed out, I guess, 95 with 20 from the map.
Can't use that skill.
So we'll see if we can get anything for the Realm Master as well once we switch to it.
That spell cannot be cast.
Yeah, there's something we've missed. We not missed, just started going the wrong way. I always do the dead ends before moving on to
What's that here?
the part where the boss is. And see, this was an example of having fire skeletons in the Torchlight Frontier. So in this map I need poison, physical and high-wit defenses. Undead would also help, but yeah, a lot of defenses needed. And I think it should have been better if there weren't any fire enemies, just physical poison and high-wit and Netherrim. Since all Netherrim are physical, yeah. Thing is, not all undead are physical, so as you see there's undead with poison and fire, and I guess physical won't help you against those. But the majority of the skeletons, the basic skeletons, would be physical. As the basic Netherrim are physical, but maybe later on there will be some Netherrim that are not physical. Oh, that's an interesting pack. 6-pack. Let's group them up like this. I think this is good. Oh, I think I kind of pulled the wrong enemy. I should not have pulled the stone elemental, because it can two-shot me or one-shot me
Can't do that.
if I'm not too careful. So now he's gonna shoot, and I wanna avoid this. Let's kill him before he kills me. Bountiful chest. Before I used to think those bountiful chests can drop gear, but everything can drop you good gear. I've gotten good gear from all different sources you can imagine. Anything that I've missed? Shit. This was the actual correct way, so I need to go back there. I thought that was the correct way. Sometimes it's hard to tell unless you explore further and see where the correct way is. Thankfully there's a speed shrine which would allow me to catch up on my way back. Not gonna take it now, I'm gonna take it once I'm returning. Missing this sphere.
You can't use that spell.
Let's do this. Group them up, get them all to get hit.
Your pet has arrived.
This was a nice melee. A nice brawl. What's left? Just this dude? No more spawns? Yeah. Let's go back then. Wait, was the shrine here or was it? Don't tell me I picked... Oh shit, I took the shrine by accident. Well, my bad, I took the shrine without needing to. And I wasted it. See, this is when I would have greatly needed that shrine for that movement speed. To just reach this part here quickly. And this is where the boss is, right behind this tech pot. This boss you should not let get close to you because of the toxic pools. Let's get them all to spawn up. No, 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 no. Run. Shit, I couldn't move.
You are refreshed.
Got kind of stuck in between many enemies and I couldn't move and escape. Might be time to send my pet to sell. And let's check the chest. Come on, hit. Yeah, when they're right next to you, not the best skill to deal with enemies right next to you. Let's see. And again, this pet luck. I mean, I really don't have luck when it comes to pet skills. I've been trying to get those 3 pet skills for 3 months already. 3 months, guys, 3 months. I mean, since the update hit us. It's probably 3 months. It might be more, it might be slightly less. But the way I remember it, we're already December. And I think this was around September, maybe even August, when Beast Buddies arrived. I think it was actually in the middle of August when Beast Buddies hit us. Update 7. And then update 8 was the quality of life update shortly after, and then update 9, the one we're currently playing.
Your pet has arrived.
Any more left here? Oh, let's get this dude quickly. Burst him, burst him. Let's not give him a chance to attack at all. And he dropped some comet fragment. One more dead end left and then I'm switching characters.
So I messed up the leveling of my Blood Drinker relic. Is there a way to respec it or build a new one?
When it comes to respecing, and also hello Black Cloud 03, there is no way to respec it at the moment, but you can build a new one. If you go to the reliquary, if you're in your fort right now, you can go to the reliquary, and it's telling you you need to kill the secret weapon in... I forgot exactly the location. I'm gonna go in my fort in a moment and I'm gonna tell you. But when you go into the reliquary and click on the blood drinker, it shows you that you need one ember core that is for the blood drinker. And it shows you which enemy and where to kill. It's written there in the text, in the description, which enemy from where drops that ember core. Alternatively, you can try and create a new character and get one from free from the quest line, but I guess it's a better option to just try and farm the core. The same enemy that dropped you the core from the quest, I've not done the quest in a while, so I'm not sure whether the quest was changed, but the quest used to tell us to kill a certain skeleton boss. Yeah, secret weapon is the enemy. So I think that was some sort of skeleton, was it, or something like that? I can't remember because it's been a long time since I did the quests on a lobby. But I think it's the same enemy that you kill for the quest line that is the secret weapon. I'm not sure exactly where it was though, but I'm sure that there is an enemy somewhere that is called the secret weapon that you kill and get that. If they've changed it, then and this cannot be killed unless you have the quest, then there's only one option, and that is to create a new character. It was in the
first goblin area.
I'm pretty sure it's in the goblin area. I just can't remember exactly where. So it's one of those dungeons. So if it's the first goblin area... Oh wait, someone's attacking me. I'm assuming it's gonna be the undead dungeon, and the undead dungeon should be... Well, it's probably not the goblin workshop. Because the goblin workshop
I will try
was
killing
something
him a few more times to see if it drops.
Try and kill it. It drops between 0 and 6 cores for the fire and poison cores. I'm not sure whether the secret weapon can drop more than 1. But even if it drops between 0 and 1, it's still gonna be nice to know that it can drop you a core. And good luck with the farming. Hope you can get a better setup. But it's normal for someone to start and mess up their relic weapons. I messed up a lot of relic weapons when I first started leveling them up. It's in the Goblin Workshop? Okay. That's nice, thanks for the info. And if you need help with the kills, I can come and help you on my Realm Master. On which I'm going in a moment. Just gotta get rid of some of that gear I just looted. I do have enough time to do 2 maps, so I can probably help you with 2 runs. I've got like 30 minutes, so if you do need help, let me know, and hopefully I can make things faster and easier for you.
Thank you for the help. I'm at work, so I can't jump on right now.
That's fine, that's fine. But good luck indeed. And yeah, I messed up myself a lot of weapons. And I still need to change a lot of stuff when it comes to fixing those weapons I've wasted. That's why I wanna craft new ones, delete some of my old ones. I also had some relic weapons that had 41 skill points. Instead of 40, they had 41 skill points. I think I've deleted all of those.
Your pet is back.
But maybe one of them still has 1 extra point. This was a glitch. And that used to happen. Secret weapon in the Deeper Sorrow. So yeah, the Deeper Sorrow should be somewhere there in the Goblin Workshop. Right, I'm changing to the Realm Master, and I'm really glad I got this thorax armor. So I do have the abdomen, I do have the armor, I'm sure I have the gauntlet somewhere here. And I'm pretty sure I've got the shoulders somewhere. Let's see. Oh, I've got the helmet as well. So maybe just the legs are missing from this visual set, not a real set, just visual. Let's see. Yeah, I've got the shoulder. I don't see the gauntlets though. I don't see the gauntlets and I don't see the legs. So I still need two pieces of this skittering armor combo. And those are the gloves and the legs. Eventually I'm gonna get them. Now on to the Realm Master to do a couple more maps. And how do you want to build your blood drinker? Do you want to go for a setup that gives you more points into Rupture and Spinning Blade, or do you want to go for more points into Blood Pools? My suggestion would be don't put points into Blood Pools and do something similar to this. Like 5, 15, 20 or 5, 20, 15 would be my suggestion. Ideally, my preferred suggestion would be 0, 20, 20, but that's not possible currently with the way the system is. If they change it later, so that we can kind of just unlock those as the relic levels up instead of as we spend points, it would be much better, and it would give us more freedom for some interesting setups. Because if I could have 0 here and 10 here, and the rest the way they are, it would have been a great way to play.
Take a look around.
Okay, let's get some maps. What's this? Goblin, this is Hyvit. One of each.
Good luck on your travels.
And just checking my defenses quickly. So I've got, wow, a lot of Hyvit defense here. So this is more suitable for the Hyvit Frontier. Although I did want to farm some Goblin Frontier with this dude. I did want to farm some Goblin Frontier with him. But I guess it's time to go to the Hyvit one for now. Maybe I can do one Hyvit, one Goblin, see how it is. Although if the Goblin is a cemetery, I'm just gonna open a new one and not complete it. Hyvit first though. Ah, dismissed, okay. Right, let's keep moving. And I also can't wait for them to introduce some of those weapons that are making basic weapon attacks more useful in the game, and not the weapons not being just some stat sticks. So yeah, some of those legendaries would boost our basic attacks and would allow for a more interesting playstyle. Well, not more interesting, but just different for people who wanna try and stack attack speed and use basic attacks combined with maybe vulnerability from Busting Charge and maybe using Lantern Flash and Spike Drive, etc. just to apply those vulnerabilities. So if you're not stacking endurance, such a setup would be interesting because you can stack more damage and more resistances if you don't stack that much endurance again. And you can focus on attack speed and damage and crit damage and crit chance. And then instead of spamming things like Ghost Rain and instead of spamming Spike Drive, just using Spike Drive once or twice in a fight and then using basic attacks with like a nice Rail Hammer or something. That's gonna be interesting thing to try. For now, basic attack builds are not really strong. I mean, you can still have a nice fun build to play with basic attacks and still not feel like you're like very bad. You're still gonna be okay. Especially if you don't try and push ridiculous. I mean, for ridiculous you would definitely need some defenses to push it right now with basic attacks. And you can see I'm now just gonna try and use basic attacks together with some of those debuffs. So definitely nothing to gasp over when you're losing all those AoE damages you can get. With Rail Hammer you can hit multiple targets, so the Rail Hammer is kind of nice if the enemies cluster up. So it would be nice for this guy to have something like the Forge's a Vortex Bomb that sucks the enemies. I think the mage would have something similar, because one of the items from what I remember is changing Radiant Blast to pull the enemies to you, or maybe that was for the Vortex Bomb to actually push the enemies. I think that there was one of the two things that's adding, maybe both of them. But it would be nice to have a Radiant Blast that instead of pushing the enemies far from you, pulls them closer on the mage for some sort of battle mage close range setup with staffs. If they add a nice staff that gives you extra bonuses when you hit enemies with basic attacks. But I think the basic attack build is most suitable for this guy and for the Forged, not for the mage as much. What else here? And knowing that you can get extra, how many percent was it? 100%? Extra 100% Rail Hammer damage on this dude. Definitely looking for some changes to two-handed combat. Some better balancing of those secondary affixes. Currently the primary affix is kind of nice on two-handed weapons. It's slightly stronger than one-handed, but the secondary affixes are very weak. The enchanted affixes are stronger, so even though you have the same enchant slots, maybe it's not gonna be that bad, but it's definitely weaker than one-hand, two-hand. I mean one-hand, off-hand. Right, let's get this dead end. A lot of fire skeletons here. Those bleeding ruptures are amazing for when you have tons of enemies clustered up together and you have a lot of bleeding chance. Let's see. I think I need to send the pet to the town already. Oh, more spawns. Did not expect those. Those came like out of nowhere. Unexpected extra chance to get something good. Unfortunately, they did not any wood. No drops at all. Maybe they dropped gold, but I didn't see it. Yeah, I want to group those up before I attack them. Which way? This way. Group them up, line them up, and shoot the train. Yeah, with this ghost train you can kind of play bowling with the enemies. Try and hit as many as you can with one shot. The same goes for things like Venomous Maw. Oh, actually here I should be using this one. I shouldn't be using the basic attack. I think I was demonstrating something when it comes to basic attacks before when I was talking last time I streamed and I forgot to switch back. I was wondering what was missing, why I don't have a fewer skill, and I end up hanging sometimes without anything to use skills wise. Yeah, it's definitely great to have a fewer from the relic weapon for some builds. And long ago, the only relic weapon that had active skill was the fire one, the flaming destroyer. Then when they reworked the relic weapons, they added an active skill for each of them. And this is providing a much needed fewer for certain builds in the rotation. While certain things are recharging, like endurance mana. Oh, yeah, I did not see that the boss came here. I thought it was just the skeletons. And the skeletons did not have toxic, but then I ended up being next to the boss with the toxic. Now I can't pick up this item. Thankfully it's not a legendary, it's just a green item. Right, let's give the pet some stuff. How is my pet? Right, he's got room. Actually this one is a she, never mind. She's got room in her trunk. First of all, I'm gonna clear this one and then I'm gonna wood the other part of the map with the boss chest and everything. Because as I always say, you never know where the legendary is hiding. It could be in that one destructible crate or barrel that you miss. Or it could be in an elite enemy that would spawn in that dead end that you don't clear. In this game, I think it's worth it completing everything in a map. It doesn't take that extra time to clear out the map once the boss is killed. But it ends up paying off every now and then. What's here? Any spawns? No. Just a few more enemies left. Currently my gear work on this character is 100% without counting the 20 from the map, but even with the 20 for the map, 100 is the limit. So this one is maxed out to the brim from items. Gear work wise, I mean. Was this the guy with 300 crit damage? Yeah, he actually has max crit damage. He doesn't have much crit chance. So on this character I'm I'm trying to find more sources of crit chance, whereas on the others I'm trying to find more sources of crit damage. I can get more crit chance if I reroll this to crit damage, crit chance, instead of crit damage, physical damage, and maybe I should do that, because I'm not critting as much as I want. But this is, yeah, that's 42.8, that's a very low crit damage roll. Let's go and change it before the next map, and the next map would be the final one for today. But let's try. I have enough essences and I can get some money. I can sell some gold work maps, which I don't need. So I probably should have went to the town instead of the fort first. Extra loading screen. Actually extra 2 loading screens now due to this. I'm gonna go to the town and sell some maps. Goldwork maps, I think instead of using goldwork maps, sell them, guys. They're not gonna give you that much more gold. Gearwork maps would give you more gold because of the more wood dropping. So things like this, that's 2.5 thousand for a map. Things like this, that's 1,000 for a map. So you can definitely have some more experimentation going on with re-rolling items when you sell those maps, and it's definitely worth it. Maybe a legendary goldwork map with that extra 50% if you go to one map like that with other people. Maybe it would be better, but I think it's not worth it. I think you'd rather better off selling them and then using the money to disenchant and try and get better rolls. So blunt force, no. I'm trying for crit chance, crit damage, which is probably impossible to get unless you're very lucky. Nice. That's very, very strong. So now my crit chance is 38, much better. Losing some fat damage, but it's for the better overall. I actually even got a few percent extra crit damage, even though I didn't really need it. So without this item, I only need what, 82 crit damage, and this gives me 91.8 crit damage. So I'm just what, 9 crit damage over the limit. That's not a big loss. Alright, let's get rid of some of the blue items that dropped and go on a map. This blue chest is amazing, but I've got a better one. So yeah. Okay, one more. Let's do a goblin map now. Okay, we're going to the Goblin Frontier. That means some of that high-vid gear is getting changed for Goblin gear. How's my defenses now? 7,000 and 9,000. Not too good, but it's better than nothing. And by the way, this weapon I'm using is not actually a level 50 weapon, so I'm losing some DPS by it not being level 50. And when I was playing in the Torchlight Frontier, it was actually going down to 47. So here it's 48 because it's the proper Frontier, but in the Torchlight one it went down to 47. Actually, as I said, if it's a cemetery map, I'm not gonna complete it, and I'm gonna start a new one. I just don't feel like doing a cemetery map for my final map of the day. Doesn't seem right. So hopefully we get one of those triple stage dungeon maps. Another cemetery map, fuck off. I don't want to do a cemetery map. Let's see how many cemetery maps in a row the RNG would give us. Alright, that's much better. So we should be seeing more crits now with this extra crit chance. It only matters on the big enemies though, but... or when there's a double HP map, you definitely want that extra crit chance, crit damage on a double HP map. Oh, nice. Oh, physical, crit chance, physical, HP. So I'm gonna lose some fire, but it looks nice. I already have one of those somewhere in my wardrobes. I'm gonna wear them for this map. How's my HP now? 30,000 with those. Sadly no enchant sockets. If it had some enchant sockets it would have been a great find. Even with the physical damage instead of fire or goblin. But against undead or netherrim, like if it's a undead mostly map, I'd rather take those than the fire ones. You can snipe some enemies like that. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna have to send the pet away. While the pet is away, my gear, not gear rook, my crit chance is suffering by 15. It's gonna be 15 less. That's just for 2 minutes, so it ain't so bad. I got stuck in an invisible wall for a moment there. Oh, he got knocked back 3 times, did he? That It's one of those slow projectiles you want to be avoiding. So Psora is kind of using the same one, but a green colored one. Same speed of the projectile. I forgot my pet still hasn't returned. She needs just like 34 seconds more. Oh, nice. Escaped Hound's Harness. I'm assuming that's the one with extra travel time reduction for the pet, is it? No, it's not. And yeah, I've got one with a lot of block chance. If I can get twice the block chance later, sometime I'm gonna be trying to get extra block chance 2 times on that pet item. But even before we had enchanting and before we could add block chance, I always suggested people to get one that has built-in block chance, because it seems like the better stat for a pet. I'm not sure whether pets can have more than 40 block chance, because players definitely can't. For players 40 is the limit, but if a pet can have more than that, it's probably gonna be achievable with an item that has 3 sockets and a built-in block chance. So you need like a built-in 11, 10, 12 block chance, and then to try and get 3 block chance rolls on an item that has 3 sockets. And so far I think they changed it to only be able to get 3 sockets on wife-bound items. So it's kind of like a lot of RNG on top of RNG to get something like this. A lot of things needs to happen. The stars need to align, and we know how often that happens. But even having an item with 1 built-in block chance for the pet and adding a second one is more than enough to make it extra tanky. Because you know, you can always add block chance from here. For you and the pet. Regardless whether you're wearing a shield as well. Okay, interesting. Oh, seriously, already full? Yeah, a lot of gear work, a lot of drops. And now it's very dangerous for me to die, because I forgot to turn my money back into maps before starting the dungeon. So I've got a bigger motivation not to die right now. Normally my advice is always make sure you never go over 3000 gold. If you get over 3000 gold, buy some green maps. If you don't need them, you can always sell those maps later for when you need money. It just hurts when you die and lose a lot of money, knowing you could have avoided that. Sometimes when I end up dying and losing 900 gold, it definitely feels bad when I know it could have been 300 for a rest in the same spot. Now the pet needs to go away again, so I'm just gonna delete the white items and pick up some greens. We're getting close to the boss fight though, so I probably should have kept the pet for the boss fight at least. Give me that extra crit damage. Let's be careful around those bats. No, I used my W before the boss fight. I should have saved it for it. 50 seconds for the pet to return. Right. And it's a Leto, so one shot and I'm dead from this boss if he hits me. Thankfully I can try and avoid the boss and just fight the minions first, who can also do a lot of damage. Let's fight this one. 1, 2.
Your inventory is full.
Okay.
Your pack is
Okay, the
full.
pet will be here in a moment, so right on time. So this was my last map for today. There probably would be more Torchlights tomorrow, because tomorrow I think is a reset day, and if I am not uploading and making a build video for Borderlands, maybe I can start streaming earlier. I'm also wondering if I should do some WoWs and Words of Mayhem tomorrow, and do something different other than Torchlight. It could also be Chaos Bane, but I'm kind of waiting for the next Chaos Bane update before I go in, see how things change with it. Maybe they fix the annoying God skills bugs. But thanks everyone for watching, for tuning in. Keep it cool, folks. Again, more tomorrow. Until next time, and see you around. Goodbye.